In this episode of the Kicking It with Keener podcast, I was so thankful to have the opportunity to talk to Toni Will, who is the general manager. I can't even believe I'm saying this right now. Who is the general manager of a hockey team, professional hockey team. They play in the ECHL, is the Kalamazoo K-Wings. If anybody's watching this that knows me from growing up, you know that I have a background in playing hockey. It was like my main sport. I thought I was going to play for a similar team in that same league in the ECHL. And it's just kind of crazy how this is all full circle. And now I'm doing an interview podcast with the general manager of a professional hockey team. I was absolutely blown away by Toni. She is an absolute beast of a human and of a woman. Being a woman in a male dominant sport, you know you gotta be tough. So Toni, thank you for taking the time. Thank you for letting me come down to your office, which is the hockey rink, which is awesome. I can't remember the last time I stepped foot into a hockey rink not to play hockey. I will say I was kind of nervous going into this one, which is surprising. Like I haven't been nervous for any of these podcasts, and rarely do I even get nervous in general. But as I was walking like into the stadium, it was just like, I don't know. Can't believe we're here right now. I can't believe we're doing this. Thank you guys all for watching my videos, and we'll see you in the next episode. Peace. This is really special for me because I grew up playing ice hockey. So
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah,
Where'd you grow up?
in Tennessee, surprisingly.
Okay.
There's
Yeah.
hockey in Tennessee.
Oh, yeah. There's hockey down south.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And then
So-
I've actually been to a K-Wings game way back.
You're okay. We're not interviewing yet.
Oh, very good. Yeah, anybody can get there all good. I think it was in a different location though.
Yeah.
Was it at a different place?
So there's Wingz West. There was Wingz West.
that's
And
right.
we just closed it, actually. There are 2 sheets of ice over there, yeah.
Yeah, 'cause
So-
I got traded to a team in Battle Creek, Michigan.
Yeah.
The Michigan Wolves
Yep.
actually was a team.
Yeah, Battle Creek is like a half hour from here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
we went to a game one time and it's like, wow, this is
Yeah.
full circle. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
this is the old school hockey barn for sure. I mean, what we're building is the polar opposite of this. So,
Yeah.
but I mean, I've been here 11 years, so I'll definitely miss it. But
Wow. So how did you get started in, because you're the general manager.
I'm the GM, yeah.
Which, that just sounds
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah. Okay, are we going?
Oh, yeah,
We're going. Okay.
I don't do like the proper, like,
Okay.
oh, guys, welcome to this episode.
Okay, cool.
It's just authentic.
Yeah, so, which is great. That's my style. So I became the general manager completely on accident. My first part of my career, the first 13 years, I was in retail banking.
Okay.
I worked for Old Kent Bank, which became Fifth Third, and then I went to National City, which became PNC, and I was in retail banking. And what that meant was I was a branch manager helping these branches go through this bank merger. And so I became pretty good at, I kind of came out of the womb leading. I'm the eldest child, and
I get those vibes. I can feel the energy from you.
I've always been a leader. And so, yeah, I started that career for 13 years, and then the Chamber of Commerce in Kalamazoo came calling, and they asked if I'd be interested in helping bring the chamber, which helps small businesses grow, come inside their economic development organization here. And I kind of was like, I didn't know what chambers did, but I thought, oh, it sounds interesting. And I was in my mid-30s, and I don't know, I was just I get antsy, ready for change. I'm definitely a go-getter, and I said yes. And I loved what I did, ribbon cuttings and groundbreakings and advocacy for small businesses, and I'm born and raised here. So it was just, I loved what I did externally for the organization, but internally the culture was not healthy. It was very toxic.
At the bank or at the
At the Chamber of Commerce.
Gotcha.
And so banking was fine, but it was the Chamber of Commerce. And so I was just like, well, I took the opportunity to lead up, and I wasn't happy, and I said I wasn't happy, and they gave me walking papers. So
Oh, like,
yeah,
on your way.
yeah, a 4-month severance package and peace out.
Wow.
So I'm in my mid-30s. I have 3 kids, a mortgage, a husband, and I'm like, okay, what's next? And I was kind of torn. Do I want to go into nonprofit? Sales is something I'm good at. It was definitely a fork in the road.
Mm-hmm.
So I took that time just to pause and kind of reflect on what I wanted to do. And what I wanted was less leadership, less of a role that's forward facing in the community. I wanted to work less and be with my kids, but still work, because that was important to me. And you're probably wondering, well, how did you
less leadership when you run the gym.
I do. So here's what happened. I applied, and the story is super important because people always, the number one question I ask is, number one, like, how do you break into sports? And then the fact that I'm a woman in men's professional sports and I'm the GM, like, you must have been a hockey player. No, I wasn't. Right. So I applied for a job in the Radisson, which is a marquee hotel downtown Kalamazoo here. Okay. And they are privately owned by Greenleaf Hospitality Group, as is the Kalamazoo Wingz. Okay, so it's sports and entertainment and hospitality, one privately owned company. I applied for a fashion boutique, like a high-end fashion boutique in the hotel, to be the manager there because I always liked clothes and fashion, and I used to shop there, but only on sale. And they came to me. HR said, "You are overqualified," and I said, "I know." And they said, "You will be bored." And I said, "That's okay. I'm not looking for a challenge. I'm not looking to be the face of anything," because my chamber job was very public facing. And they just said, "Well, we're going to get back to you." And I said, "Okay." So 3 more weeks, I continued to interview. They come back to me and they said, "We've got something for you we think you'll be perfect for." And I said, "Oh yeah, what's that?" And they said, "The Kalamazoo Wingz." And I said, "The hockey team?"
Do you ever watch hockey or anything?
I did. I mean, I grew up here, so I would come to some games. Like, my parents would bring me. I took the kids to, like, when Landon, my son, was in Boy Scouts, they had a scout night, and I brought him. But I'd probably been to maybe 5 games in my 36 years at that point. And so my response was, and this is quote, "I don't know shit about hockey." And they kind of laughed and they said, "It's okay. We don't need someone at this level of hockey." And this still holds true this day. The GMs at this level do not do any player transactions. They're all the business. So you know how to run a business, you know how to sell, and you know how to build a sales team and culture, and you love Kalamazoo. And I said, "Yeah, I guess I am all those things." And then they told me the pay. It was a 35% pay cut from what I was making, because it's professional sports. People make the assumption that professional sports it's sexy, so it's lucrative. And so I thought, you know what, why not? So obviously, I mean, we know the story ends because I've been here now 11 years. It's the best job I never knew I wanted. And I also believe that if you do something that you really love and are passionate about, the money will follow. Absolutely. And it did.
Absolutely. How did your husband feel during all this?
He trusted me. Now, I was in a different marriage at that time. I've since remarried, but he was really supportive. I mean, they're like, "Oh, that's cool. So we get to go to all the games." I'm like, "Yeah," but I'm like, "You don't really understand what 36 hockey games. That's regular. I mean, just home games. It's 72 game season." Right. And so, and I don't go to all the away games. I just go to some. But even 36 games is a lot. Wow. Over a 6-month period. So they thought it was cool. My kids loved it at the time, and now they're grown up, and they'll come to games. But they interned here, and
dang,
they got kind of we did a little nepotism.
Right. You said yes. You just went with it.
I did. I didn't know what I was doing either. I was like, and that's where my 6 leadership pillars were born. So I did a TEDx talk on this about a year ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Where at?
Here in Kalamazoo.
Wow.
Yeah. And so I did a 18-minute talk on really it's perceived weaknesses that are actually strengths. And I get a lot of criticism in this role, but the main one being that I'm a woman. How could I possibly be the GM of this organization? But here's the thing. Because I'm a woman and I think differently, I'm not emotionally attached to the sport, I can run the business in a more effective way. And I led us to multiple awards, revenue gross year over year, record-breaking attendance, 6 seasons throughout the 11 I've been here. So, me along with my team, we've done a lot of great things. So this weakness that I'm not a white guy running a hockey team is bullshit.
Yeah.
So
I don't see it. I mean.
So I did a TEDx about that. And how I did it, because it's like, well, how do you do it when you don't know what you're doing?
Right.
And most people don't like to admit they don't know what they're doing, where I'm like, I don't know, I'm going to figure it out. So I built my 6 leadership pillars around how I made changes here and then how I've extended it into my personal life as well.
As much as I love doing these podcasts virtually, I'd much rather sit down and talk to somebody one-on-one in person I can look at them, I can feel the energy that they're giving off, and it's just a better vibe. So if you know anybody that would be interested or that would be a good guest for the podcast show, please get us in contact, put us together, or just relay them my information. I would love to sit down and talk to them. And with that, I will continue to do my best to improve my podcasting skills and my interviewing skills to one day bring on bigger guests that you would love to see me collab with.
Yeah, I think that's super important what you said is, like, you got presented the opportunity. You don't know how you were going to make it happen, but you said yes, and then you figured it out along the way.
Yeah.
I think is really important. Even I do that for myself sometimes. Yesterday, I filmed a podcast for like a bank, it's called North Point Bank, and they're doing a podcast.
Yeah.
And it was the owner of the bank, and everybody, all the big guys were there. And I saw my podcast, and this is just, I have one light, one camera, so they assume that I can do this whole production. And I knew I couldn't do it to that level, but I said yes. And then leading up to those days, I kind of put some pieces to make it work. And I think that's a huge thing that people should start saying yes to more things.
Well, you and I were just talking about how we're both podcasters. We both didn't know what we were doing, and we have just figured it out. Right. So, and what's really cool is we both live in Michigan, so we could do this together.
Yes. Which, when I saw the email come through, first of all, when I saw K-Wings, I was like, oh my God, this is gonna be awesome. Then obviously you're in the area. Yeah. It's like, we have to do this at the rink. In my vision, this is totally my vision. Yeah. Down by the ice, right here. This is so awesome.
So if your viewers or listeners, I mean, these are the original seats. This was built in 1974. The building itself is 52 years old. We're going to be in operation in this facility for 2 more seasons. And then we'll move down to the Kalamazoo Event Center, which is being built right now. It's a $500 million project. And we're playing there along with Western Michigan University, men's hockey, men's basketball, and women's basketball.
Wow, so nice. I assume it's gonna be a nice facility.
It's beautiful. It's state of the art. This is like a quintessential hockey barn. You can feel the history in it. Yeah. It's new. We're building something. Rafters. Yeah, low. The brown and orange. 70 seats. It's something special. And even when I think about it, it makes me a little sad when we leave. But it's for great change for our community. And this, when it's something this old, it's not exactly cost efficient.
Are they going to tear it down or just leave the sheet of ice?
We just publicly announced that we will be closing these doors in 2028.
Dang, this is where you got your start.
It is.
So it's kind of like...
had I set out to be the GM of a professional hockey team, men or women's, it would have never happened, especially in my hometown. But and I teach this all the time, I try to hold things really loosely, because when we hold on to things so tight, these goals we have, we tend to suffocate them. So it's like, how do I go into things and be curious, willing to learn, and not fixated on failure? Because failure is such bullshit. It's not real. We make it out to be this thing that's real, and it's not.
Yeah. You have to fail. Failure to me is just like another try.
Yeah, it is. You just learn, okay, that didn't work. Let me try a different way. As long as you don't give up. The only time you're really failing is when you're 6 feet under. Because you can't do anything. You're dead.
Mic drop right there in the podcast. We are out of here.
I'm glad you drove down for that.
No, that is great. Coming into the general manager spot, what was those first weeks, or that first walking in the doors?
Yeah.
Were you a little nervous, or were you?
Was I nervous? No. Here's what I wasn't. I didn't kick down the door, and if people watch my TEDx, they'll see me. I talk about this. I didn't kick down the door, rip my bra off, light it on fire, and yell, "Woman, hear me roar." No, I was. If I think back to that, I think I was naive. I don't remember being nervous. I remember having very low expectations. I remember thinking I probably won't like it. And I think it was just I was coming off this really crappy experience and at my previous job, and I kind of thought, I bet you this workplace will be toxic too. And it wasn't. The culture here at Greenleaf is phenomenal. And I have a lot of autonomy. And I found that my personality fits really well into hockey. And that I had a lot more surprises. But it was just the first 3 years was a lot of work. I mean,
which is what you did not want.
I didn't, but then I loved it so much, so it was hard because I was like, wow, I never thought in a million years I'd fall in love with it, but not fall in love. I fell in love with the challenge.
Not the sport.
Correct. I am a K-Wings fan, but once I walk away from hockey, I won't. I'll be done. If anything, I'd consult, but I could consult in any sport.
Yeah.
Because once you know how to run the business, you can apply it to any sport. So yeah, I fell in love with the challenge, and I love a good challenge. And my track record shows that. Like, I used to run marathons. I've done 60 triathlons. I've done 2 full Ironmans. We've set 2 Guinness World Records here. Like, I love to be like the proverbial Mount Everest, and like most people be like, I'm never doing that, and I'm like, oh, I'll figure it out, and I just go.
Wow.
And I figure it out. So it was hard though. It was. I made a lot of mistakes because we didn't know what we were doing, but it was also fun.
Yeah.
We have a lot of fun. We still have fun.
It's hockey. I mean, I don't know how involved you are with the players, but being in a hockey background, there's some goofballs out there.
There are. I know it was different for me then because I was in my mid-30s, and not that I didn't feel comfortable going down in the locker room, but the age gap was less. Because I'm in my mid-30s and they were, mid-20s up to our oldest at the time was like 41.
Wow.
And so I didn't quite know my place at that point. It's very different for me now at 47 because I'm now at the age where I could be some of their mom. My kids are their age. That helps. That helps me. And having a really strong relationship with our head coach. Joel Martin is our head coach, and so I'm on the business side. He's on the player ops and director of hockey operations and head coach. And so we are partners in making this what it is.
Very well said. The head coach, did you hire him specifically, or?
No, Joel actually used to be a goaltender for us. He actually played all the way up in the NHL, but yeah, he was a goaltender for the Kalamazoo Wingz, and after he retired, he became assistant coach for 4 seasons until Nick Bootland left. Nick went to the Hershey Bears, and then Joel moved up to our head coaching position. He's been there ever since. So what's beautiful about Joel and I is, number one, we've known each other forever. And we work really well together, and we're both minorities in the sport. He is a black head coach and goaltender, which you do not see in hockey, even to this day, rarely, and I'm a female GM. So diversity, equity, inclusion, regardless of what's going on in the world, is very important to us and this organization.
Wow, Joel, I have to meet this guy.
Yeah, he's awesome. He's awesome.
Goaltender. Yeah, there's only been like maybe 2 or 3 like that I can even bring up to my mind.
Yeah, we have. We have a rich history here in Kalamazoo of players. One, Bernie Saunders. He actually wrote a book called "Shut Out: The Game That Didn't Love Me Black." He played here in the late '70s and early '80s, and then he went on to play at Western Michigan University. And I've gotten to meet Bernie personally, read his book. He came and spoke at an event we hosted last year, and he's just a phenomenal man. But just imagine playing hockey here in the 70s and how different it was with racial tensions and it's gotten better, but there's still a long way to go. Hockey is very male and very white.
Yeah. And even when I was playing,
yeah,
it was.
You were probably one of.
I was the only black. Well, I mean, I'm not even that black, but.
Well, yeah.
In hockey, I'm.
You are black. Yeah.
And always, every game, they're gonna chirp you or say something, or there's like a guy in the league, Seth Jones. They always like try to link me to like another player in the league. Which, as a kid, well, hockey, everybody's very mentally strong, physically strong, yes, but like. From my experience, like it's a mentally strong sport. Like, coach is always in your ass.
Yep.
Teams always like going back and forth, talking shit to each other. So you just build like thick skin.
Yeah.
But I do remember like always racial slurs, and I'm not gonna say I was a great player, but I was on the higher end quality. So I would always get a little bit extra, through the corners and everything. And I can't imagine what kids today, like you said, I think it's getting a little less
a little
in the sport, but there is still a stigma of like, oh, they got a black kid out
Well, then you have the spotlight on you even more, right? And that's what Bernie would talk about. Or Bobby Robbins wrote a great book. Bobby made it up to the NHL by fighting, and sex, pucks, drugs. His memoir, I read it last year, but just it kind of, it's hard because there's so much emphasis on the race instead of your skills as a player.
Right.
And you don't want to bring too much, or he felt this way, you don't want to bring too much attention to it. And if it just was like more defines me. I'm like, I'm just a person, but I tend to believe, like, especially when it comes to my gender, that I'm okay if people come to me and say, Toni, you're a woman in hockey. I'd love to hear your perspective. I don't hear that often, but especially on the league side, because I'm the governor for the team as well. And so what that means is professional sports teams are governed by a board of directors, but we're called governors. And so I am the governor for Kalamazoo, the sole governor, and then we have an alternate governor in case I cannot attend the meetings. I'm the only female governor, and I'm the only female governor. Now there's alternate female governors, and I'm the only ever female that's been on executive committee for the board of governors.
Wow.
And I had to really fight for that spot. And there are inherent challenges in calling out the fact that I am a woman and I'm doing this to lift women up in sports. And I'm servant leadership. Like, I'm not getting paid to be on the executive committee. I'm not getting paid to take on these different leadership roles. I created a women in sports committee for the league, a mentor-mentee program for women in this league. I speak on national stages about it. Like, I want to bring these women in the elevator with me. Let's go up, because there's many layers to this glass ceiling. So, and I'm a white woman saying this. Like, can you imagine? Like, I have employees that are Black here, and I have a lot of empathy, and I'm outspoken about it, and it makes me somewhat unpopular as a general manager.
I love it. And I think, just like you said, you're kind of paving the way for other women in sports. And I wouldn't, just the short time I spent with you, I wouldn't want to pick any other representative for that person than, like, you're the perfect person for the job.
Yeah. And going back to what you said, like, how did you I never thought in a million years this is where I would be. You know, like, being, like, starting these programs, and I have a book that I'm writing. I just finished reading the final copy yesterday. That's coming out in Q1. Yeah, like, listen,
oh my God.
I can't sit still. No, I cannot. So part of my book is about my job and how I did it. And it's giving people the tools of how. Yeah. How do you accomplish these things? And the things I've faced in my life, the challenges, because it hasn't been like a linear line. Like, I mean, there's been hard stuff, and I talk about it in the book.
Okay. Well, I'm going to have to check the book out too. You said you've been here for 11 years.
11 years, yeah.
Is there a year that's, like, most memorable out of those 11?
That's a great question. I haven't been asked that question before. Okay, I'll give an obvious and a not so obvious. So the obvious was COVID. COVID was hard because, so we play October to April, and COVID hit March. And so we had about 6 home games left. So we had to shut down in what we call the 2019-2020 season early. And then we were dark the whole next season, which means we didn't play for that whole year because Michigan, if you recall, we were on a lot of lockdown here. So
Did
now,
you get to practice?
Oh, we didn't have a team.
Oh, nothing.
Nothing. So that was challenging in a different way, but we were all kind of in the same boat. Even though there's 32 teams in ECHL, we're all across the U.S. and a team in Canada, but we had to navigate this together. So, but we could learn from one another and help support each other, because while we're competitors off the ice, we're not competitors in our own communities because we're all over the country.
Yes.
So that was hard. That was definitely unique. But the not so obvious, I think there's 2 events that we've hosted here, well, really 3, that were just standouts. And the season we came back from COVID, we hosted my brainchild, the first ever rainbow ice game. And so we dye the ice rainbow.
Oh, no.
And that is, the game theme is hockey is for everyone. And so a lot of times people think the rainbow just means LGBTQ+, which that's part of it. But really it's about opening this space up for everyone to feel safe. Race, gender, socioeconomics, abilities, all these things. And so we've dyed the ice now for the last 4 years. That first year, we damn near broke the internet.
I have to check it out. I'm surprised I haven't heard about it.
I know. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It sells out every year. But, you know, we get an equal amount of love and new fans, and then we get equal amount of hate.
Huh.
It's polarizing.
Yeah, I can see that. From being like a hockey, like from like a player's standpoint, I wonder what their thoughts were. Like, was the puck still black? Was it hard to see?
Joel would be better to answer that because he used to play. He didn't play in the Rainbow, so the other players, they what color did they say is the hardest to see the puck? I think it is pink.
Like a pink, yeah.
Yeah. So, but they loved what it stood for. And so we had rainbow ice jerseys, and we auctioned them off, and then we had rainbow tape around on the sticks, and then on the goalposts we did rainbow. And yeah, I continue to stand up for that. I take a lot of arrows for it, but
that's awesome. I was expecting you to say like, oh, this season we won this amount of games, or we won the championship. It really has nothing to do about hockey. It's about what you guys have done for the community.
Correct. Yeah. You won't hear me talking. I mean, I will periodically talk about, you know, the standings, and right now we're obviously not playing yet. So, or I'll talk about, where we're at in the standings and the division, and, you know, points wise, and if we're over 500 or under, and things like that. But really for us in minor league sports, and what I'm responsible, my team's responsible for, is the community, is driving revenue, is fundraising, is community relations. It's not, do we want to make playoffs? Absolutely. Here's my mindset on it, and not popular, but there's 32 teams in this league. Mm-hmm. There's going to be one winner. What are our odds? Not popular, but I'm like a realist.
Right.
Like, I want to see that. But I also know from a recruiting standpoint, it's much different to recruit in a facility like this than it will be when we're down the street in a $500 million facility. People aren't like saying, boy, I want to play in Kalamazoo, Michigan.
Right.
So we have some challenges there, right? But Western Michigan University winning the NCAA men's hockey championship, that certainly helps. So, I mean, it puts us on the map again. And we've won 3 championships over the 51 years. It's been a minute. We're due. So do I want to see that? Yes. But I'm not a fanatic. I'm not. Yeah, I'll just leave it at that. I'm not a fanatic.
Which I would assume is majority of the fans, because there is like hockey fans, they understand offsides and icing and all that stuff, but a lot of them come either for like the community aspect to be with people, or they want to see a fight.
100%.
Two things. They don't really care about, oh, we won. There is those guys out there. They are out there like, oh, our team's not doing good this season, or the last 2 games have not been it.
Yeah, you're hitting on something really important. So from the business side, 80% of the ticket buyers that walk through our doors are entertainment seekers. The 20% are the fanatics. There are season ticket holders or partial plan holders, but the rest is all entertainment.
Right.
And that's what this level of hockey is. So and we're constantly trying to strike a balance. But the fact that Kalamazoo, if I just step all the way back, the fact that Kalamazoo has a professional sports team, period,
is a win.
Is unheard of. We're a population size of 75,000 in Kalamazoo proper. Professional sports teams generally don't, build a facility in communities that size. They're in 1 million plus communities, not 75,000. So there's something very special about this, which means we're not going to do things the quote unquote traditional way.
Right. That makes sense. That's really awesome that you understand and you see that.
Yeah. Yeah, I explain it. I've been saying this stuff for 11 years. It still makes me very unpopular because it's rational, right? Like I'm bringing facts, fans bring emotion. And I get that. But I'm running a business.
That's what this is. This is a business.
It's a business.
And I didn't think about it until you said it, but the fact that Kalamazoo, Michigan, no offense to Kalamazoo, Michigan, but that they have a professional team is just
huge.
That's a win, yeah. Huge.
And the investment, a facility that we're building right now is normally, there's only 4 teams that are privately owned in our league. There's no one in our league that would write a check for $500 million. We are.
Wow.
In Kalamazoo, Michigan. So that's going to change the game. So in my mind, do I have high aspirations for our team? Absolutely. But I also am bringing realistic, notions to it, because then it helps me run the business better. And when we move, I have no doubt that we're going to put together some stellar teams and have some really good talent.
Oh yeah.
Because if I'm a hockey player, I'd want to play there.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
hockey players think about those kind of things. They look at the facility and the coaching and the maintenance and all those kind of things. They consider that sometimes.
Absolutely, and as they should. They should really step back if it were me. Now, they're a lot younger and they don't have the wisdom that I've cultivated.
Yeah.
But it's like the whole person looking, and a lot of these guys are married or getting married and having kids, and like stepping back and looking at the big picture, because we really truly care about the whole person that plays for this organization or works in the front office.
Which is amazing. And I guess going back to the hockey player mindset, this is the ECHL. A lot of these guys, at least for me, are thankful that they're still even playing hockey.
Exactly, because most of them, 90, I don't know it's 90+% end up staying at this level.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the dream is, of course, the NHL and going to the show. I get that, but at some point, you know,
Be realistic.
you got to be realistic and think, okay, what am I doing with the rest of my life? And I know the fans like to see fights, but that is not good for them.
The fans or the players?
The players.
Oh, yeah.
It's not. I mean, it's not great for their brains. It's not great for their bodies. It's not great for their long-term, like, what's after hockey?
Right. Life.
Right,
kids.
life, like a career, like, you know, and so that's what I look at, like, and hockey in general is becoming less about the fighting.
It is.
And the Board of Governors has actually worked to make it safer.
Yeah, which I appreciate.
Yeah.
I mean, especially when it's hockey, like, you want to see good sports.
Right.
You don't want to just see a shit show and.
Yeah. When the kid, like, what are we teaching our kids too? Again, not a popular opinion, but.
Yeah. So we're in Kalamazoo, Michigan, the ECHL. Up the road is the Grand Rapids Griffins,
Yeah.
and the AHL.
Correct.
Do you guys have any affiliation, maybe not affiliation, but like relationship between each other?
The front offices do, and I have employees that used to work for me that are up there, but they are affiliated with the Toledo Walleye and the Detroit Red Wings. And so which the Walleye are in our league.
Yep.
But we are affiliated. I know it makes no sense, but this is how it works now. We're affiliated with Abbotsford Canucks and the Vancouver Canucks up in Canada. Yeah.
That's a little weird.
It is. It's interesting. It's all relationship based and things like that. When we first opened back in 1974, our affiliate was the Detroit Red Wings, which is why we were the Kalamazoo Wings. But much changed over the 50 plus years. So yeah, so that's our system.
Gotcha. So, and for people who listen that understand about hockey, like there's like a tier system.
Correct.
So they're in the ECHL. Your partner is, sorry, you said
Abbotsford
Canucks.
Canucks.
So there's a guy that does really well here. The coach or somebody from them could call
our guys up.
Do they call you or do they call Coach Joel?
They called Joel.
Joel.
Yeah, they called Joel, and then they called when they'll go up and down. I mean, and we've had most recently, we've had 2 goaltenders in the last 7 years that have won the Stanley Cup that have played here.
Wow.
Yeah. So, I mean, you see the system of players moving up and down.
Yeah. And just again, going back to my expectations, when people thought, oh, we're going to go to the ECHL, like, oh, you're going to be done there. But there is possibility to where you can work your way up.
Absolutely. Now, the percentage, I mean, is low.
Of course.
But yeah, but that's where that mentality you were talking about earlier, like that, just grinding, and that it's just as much mental as it is physical. So you got to outwork the guy to your right and your left.
Yeah. How often do you spend with the players? Like, are there some guys that think like that, or do you find that like they're just happy to be playing hockey here in Kalamazoo?
I don't spend a ton of time with them. They all know who I am.
Yeah.
But Joel and his staff spend the majority. But I can tell though. Like, it's not hard for me to read the players to tell
Based on
who's
how they practice, they play. You can see
and their
that.
attitude at certain events and stuff. I can tell who the hard workers are and who aren't. Like, because they bring that energy off the ice too.
Wow.
It's good to stay humble. I mean, because people are watching.
Oh yeah, especially in hockey. It's a very humbling sport because, you know, with the shifts, you go out there, you can have a great shift, and then the next one is just
it's shit.
It's bad, and you get to the bench. You could beat yourself up about it, but 30 seconds later, you got to try again.
Exactly.
So it gives you. That's the cool thing about it. Now that I'm thinking about it, is you get more reps to redeem yourself.
Exactly. You get a lot of chances to get off that bench and prove yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
Dang. really, my mind is like all over the place because you've done so many crazy, incredible things. I kind of want to switch away from the hockey and talk a little bit about the triathlon and the Ironman experience. Because I actually have a triathlon next month that I'm doing.
You do?
Yep. I've done
which one?
3 so far. This one is in Florida, actually.
Okay.
October 4th, I want to say. It's not a Olympic, or what do they call it? Olympic.
So there's sprint, Olympic, half, and full.
Yeah. So this is just a sprint.
Okay.
I know every time I say triathlon, everybody jumps to Olympic. They're like, oh my God.
Yeah.
But still, it's still a big
No. A triathlon is, sprints are hard because you're going.
Yeah.
I mean, it is. I mean, you swim, then you run that bike, and then you run. You're swimming like 500 yards, and then you'll bike 12 and a half miles, and then you'll run a 5K.
You know it.
Yeah. I've done it many times.
Yeah. When was how did you get into that? When did you do your first triathlon?
Yeah, so I did my first triathlon. I was 29 years old, so that was 2007, and my boyfriend at the time was into him. He became my husband, my second husband. I love men. Apparently, I'm married to 3 of them. Yeah. It's okay. It's okay. Well, I lift women up so much, I feel like I have to say, I'm not a male basher. I love men. I'm on marriage number 3, but he's it. He's the last stop. Yeah. But my second husband and I, it was really a hobby that we both enjoyed. And so I started with duathlon. And so because even though I grew up in a lake, the swimming, it's different to swim for pleasure versus bilateral breathing and,
people around.
Yeah, that's a whole different beast, as you are probably learning. So yeah, I did duathlon, which is run, bike, run. And then that next summer, when I turned 30, I started doing sprints. And then I worked my way up to the Olympic distance, which is double the sprint.
Yep.
And then over time, I moved to half Ironman. And then I trained for my first full Ironman. I think it was 2012, and I was 7 weeks out from the race. I would train for a full year.
And what's an Ironman?
The full Ironman is a 2.4 mile swim,
okay,
112 mile bike, and then you run a marathon 26.2 miles, and you have 17 hours to do it.
Oh, my legs are just crying
Yeah,
just thinking about that bike.
So I was 7 weeks out from doing my very first Ironman, and I got in a bike crash, and I broke my shoulder blade.
Oh.
And I had to pull out. And it took me, and that was a scary experience because I was on the road and a truck was coming, and I'm fine, but it was scary. It took me a year to get back on the bike, and then in 2014, in 2013, I started training again for 1 full year. I hired a coach, and in September of 2014, I completed my first full Ironman in Louisville, Kentucky, in 13 hours and 56 minutes, and it was 100 degrees the whole day.
13 hours of just nonstop.
Well, almost 14. I was 4 minutes shy of 14 hours, yeah. It was one of the proudest moments in my life.
Because you finished?
Yeah. It was, it's badass. I don't know what else to say. That was me.
I'm trying to work my way up there. The training part, what did the training consist of?
Yeah, it was a lot. It was, 52 weeks I trained, 2-a-days. And then the bulk of the hours, you're working up to 17 or 18 hours a week of working out. The bulk of it's on the weekends. So you're doing brick workouts, which if anyone wants to know what a brick is like you do a long bike to a short run, and you immediately go into a run. So I would do a 100-mile bike and then a 3-mile run. And then you do the inverse on Sunday. You would do like a 20-mile run and like a 10-mile bike. Because you had to your legs work very different on the bike than they do running.
That's so true. My wife is doing the one in October. She's going to try to do her first one.
Oh, that's so awesome. I'm excited for you guys.
I am.
And that you're doing it together.
We're doing it together, individually.
Right. But the support you both enjoy, it's really cool.
It is. And she was there when I did my first one, which kind of gave her the motivation, because I'm not like a freak athlete, but I have some athletic things.
Yeah.
So it made it seem like it was very easy. Like I was running the finish line, I was like doing this, like it was easy. So anyways, that motivated her to do it. Here we are about 6 months later, and no training has taken place yet on her end.
Yeah.
No prep or anything. But to get back to what you were saying, I was telling her that feeling of riding the bike for 13 miles and then going right to a run.
Oh, that's why they call it brick.
Yeah.
You have brick legs.
You do.
I told
her she needs to at least feel that feeling before you get out there and you do it in front of everybody, because it's way different.
It is hard, but those years I raced for 11 years, and my last Ironman I did in 2017, and I did Chattanooga, Tennessee that time. I trained for another year. You're from Tennessee.
Yeah.
Chattanooga is hilly as if.
It's mountains.
It's brutal. It took me 15 hours and 20 minutes, but I finished, and it was hot that day too. And when I crossed that finish line, I knew, I'm like, okay, this part of my life, I'm good. I accomplished everything I wanted, and I never raced since.
Well, you've done what, 2 Ironmans?
Yeah, so I did 2014 and 2017. And then I raced in between all of that. I ran marathons. I probably ran just 20 half marathons. Like I was doing all kinds of stuff.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I just loved it. I loved, again, I love a challenge. And those Ironmans were pretty amazing. And they pulled me through a lot of, when life is challenging, I'm like, well, I did an Ironman. Like giving my TEDx, that was hard. I love public speaking, but that was a whole different beast. And I remember telling myself, Toni, you've done 2 Ironmans, you can do this. I've been divorced twice. Seems to be my lucky number apparently. But I'm like, I could, you've done hard things. You'll survive this. Yeah. So it really has helped pull me through. Triathlon is an amazing sport. Yeah, it really is.
It's been great. Have you always been like this go-getter when you were like growing up as a child, or?
I think so. My parents would say I've always kind of come out leading from the womb, and I've always just been really driven. I just kind of relentless, and all with a sense of humor though, not take myself too seriously. But yeah, I think I've just always been really driven and wanting to prove myself.
Any sports growing up?
I did. I played, as a little kid, I played soccer and softball, but I ended up really loving gymnastics, and I was a cheerleader in high school, first team all conference and captain.
It's added to the list of accomplishments.
Yeah, and then when I graduated high school, I was in college. I really was focused on career and getting my degree, and then I started a family after I graduated from Western, and then I was like Tubby Toni for a while. Like I ate a few too many onion rings, started to have kids, and then really jumped back into the fitness after I had my kids and lost a bunch of weight. And I've always been in love with fitness and nutrition, and almost got my degree in that. But my dad said, Toni, if you get a degree in business, it'll take you anywhere. And so I followed that advice, and I've had 3 different career changes over my 25 years, and he's right, it served me right. And I'm an entrepreneur, because we haven't even talked about what I have a side business too. So and I'm an entrepreneur. I've always wanted to own my own business, so I do that too.
I mean, this is kind of your business.
It is. For all intents and purposes, it is, but I've always wanted to, I'm setting myself up for whatever's next. And I quit drinking alcohol 5 years ago.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, and I did not like my relationship with alcohol, and so I wanted to change that. And so I decided to get a coaching certification, help other people do the same. I wanted to take a different framework outside of AA rooms and talk publicly about it and not be ashamed and have it be a health and wellness decision. So I launched a lifestyle coaching business where I coach people all over the world to help them reduce and remove alcohol. And then that expanded to professional development coaching, and then it expanded to a conference that I host here, and expanded to my podcast, and then my book. So, So I do all of that while running this.
How do you manage your time, or how do you do all these different things?
Yeah, so
and then you have a family.
I do. Yeah. So my husband and I have been married 5 years, and he's a big resource for me. Like, we talk business a lot. He's amazing, Josh. And then my kids are all adults. And so 23, 21, and 19. And the youngest is in college. The other 2 are working full time and out of the house. And I always believed that I wanted to be that mom that was a role model, to show them that you can work and make your own money. I think it's very important for women to earn their own money and have autonomy over their finances, because you never know.
Hear that, babe?
Yeah, you never know. So I'm a big fan of role modeling that. So time blocking is, my calendar's color coded. And so like Fridays and Saturday mornings, like I podcast only at certain times. And then I go to experts. I hire experts for a lot of the work that I'd like to have done. Like my podcast, I hire a producer that edits it and puts it out in the world. I have a marketing person that I've hired that does all my website and all of that. I have a ghostwriter help me write my book. And so I take the profits from my business and just investing it back into the business and moving towards my goals of being a paid professional speaker and, all while lifting women up and helping people remove substances from their life and live a clean, healthy life that they're proud of, that's in line with their core values.
As much as I love doing these podcasts virtually, I much rather sit down and talk to somebody one-on-one in person. I can look at them, I can feel the energy that they're giving off, and it's just a better vibe. So if you know anybody that would be interested or that would be a good guest for the podcast show, please get us in contact, put us together, or just relay them my information. I would love to sit down and talk to them. And with that, I will continue to do my best to improve my podcasting skills and my interviewing skills to one day bring on bigger guests that you would love to see me collab with.
I love that. And you said something that I struggle with myself is the delegating or hiring, finding somebody to help you out, just simply just help.
Yeah, and to spend the money to do that. And my number one leadership pillars go to the experts. I didn't know how to run a hockey team. I didn't know how to launch a podcast. I didn't know how to quit drinking. So I find people who did know, who are just a little bit ahead of me and can help me. And I'm willing to pay to learn. I've never been in a better place in my life than I am now. And I'm not even halfway through because I'm going to live to 100, Noah. So
I believe it. I believe it. But that's really something that, it's funny that we're talking about this because I just posted a short form video from my last podcast, and the title is basically, it's like finding somebody else to learn from.
Yeah, that is exactly, that's one of the keys. I couldn't do all this by myself.
It's literally the topic of the thing.
That's a great screenshot. You look very serious.
I know. All of my videos, I have a guy that I work with and he helps me edit them. I'm like, bro, how come you always make me look like I'm just always so interested in listening, but learning by yourself versus having a coach or somebody that has already experienced.
Everybody needs a coach. And I don't say that just because I'm not a hockey coach, but a lifestyle coach and professional development coach. I have coaches too. I can't see me and I need help with things. And so I investing in ourselves is the ultimate form of self-care. I call it being self-full. And so having a coach to help you, and that's just one area. Or like I said, hiring a ghostwriter or hiring a podcast producer or hiring a marketing person. There's so many opportunities.
I think it's so hard for people to wrap their head around, at least maybe for me even.
I think money is, there's this money mindset is a big one. I think too, people are afraid just to ask for help. I should be able to find a YouTube video on that. Yeah. And I don't do that. I'm just I'm going to find people.
Right. Just old fashioned, give them a call.
I'm going to use my network or continue to build a network. And I found that that's worked for me.
Yeah. It's spot on.
It's a lot.
It is, but it's so important. I'm thinking because there's so many instances in my life where it's oh, I can figure it out myself, or I don't need help, or I'm not going to pay the extra $1 to either fast track the process or to make it bulletproof the process.
Yeah, there's nothing that I do that's bulletproof. I'm very impulsive at times, and I know that. It's not that I love that about me, but I'm also very decisive. That's the other side of that coin. And so I'm no, I'm just going to do it. I have this gut instinct, and I'm just going to move towards that. And I call it following the breadcrumbs. Now, there are times when I am thinking about the ROI. And this year has been a very expensive year for my business because I've decided to put all the profits into my conference and my book. And so, and the book won't go on sale till next year. So it's just going to be, this year will look different on my tax returns than it has in years past. And so it's a conscious decision I'm making, and it's a risk.
Yeah.
But I've always wanted to write a book. And so I'm doing it.
That's awesome.
Who knows what it'll lead to? I don't know.
Yeah, you never know. I actually work with a guy now that he's wrote a book. It's more like a memoir than a book. But he's 60 years old, and I had him on the podcast, and we started talking a little bit how are you going to get the book out there? So eventually, not convince him, but he understood the power of social media.
Yeah.
So he started putting himself more out there on social media. Were you always like, the thing I've realized is like the confidence. I feel the confidence radiating off of you, but like putting yourself out there on these stages and in these positions, I don't know why I'm asking this question, because I assume that it just came natural to you, or you weren't worried about it.
It did come naturally to me. I think what's the hardest part is like the imposter syndrome has always kind of been lurking in the background. And I find that the more success I have, the louder that gets. And I do deserve a seat at the table, or I feel like I almost have to justify how I'm able to do all these things at the same time, because most people ask the same question you did, which is, how the heck do you do all this? And it's hard to answer because it's just how I'm hardwired. My number one strength, if you haven't taken Gallup's Strength Finders, I highly encourage it. It's $50. It'll essentially tell you what your top 5 strengths are. And my number one is focus. If I say I'm gonna do it, blinders on, I'm going until it's done.
That's called Gallup?
Gallup's Strength Finders.
Gallup Strength Finders.
It's $50. And this is, do you work full time? Or where do you do?
I have like a media company.
Okay. Yeah. So, and what it'll help you, like, look at your strengths and say, what is my media company? How are my strengths playing into what I do in my media company? Or if you're struggling with something, it'll make sense, because some of the things that you're not necessarily hardwired with will be at the bottom, but that's okay. You're not trying to make everything a strength. There's 33 of them. You're just like, oh, I'm not a natural at something, whatever one of the things on the list is. And that's okay, because you want to focus your energies on the top 5. And it's like a classic Navy suit. These Strength Finders never goes out of style. And if you ever decide to go into corporate America or anything you're doing, it's great to be able to talk to those.
Yeah.
Yeah. So take the assessment.
Yeah. I'll definitely, if anybody's interested, I'll help you guys find it as well too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. So we got the Ironmans, the GMs, now the TED Talks.
Yes.
Because I understand how stressful those are. They're detailed, strict 18 minutes.
Correct.
I guess maybe it depends on the audience, because there's different forms of TED Talks. Like there's business, or I'm probably wrong.
No, so you're not wrong. So there's TED, and then there's TEDx.
Okay.
And now I just got back last week from TED Sports. And they just created a conference, first ever TED Sports conference. And there were 25 TED Talks over the course of 3 days, with breakout sessions interspersed, and then opportunities to engage in the sports community in Indianapolis.
Wow.
So, but a traditional TED Talk or a TEDx is like in like smaller communities, and the TED stage is usually in bigger communities. But yeah, 18 minutes. There's a master class you have to take. You are given a coach and a script writer, and everything that's on that stage that you say is in a script that you wrote.
Right.
And you memorize it.
So there's not a screen behind the audience or anything to reference?
So it depends on the organizers of the event.
Okay.
The one that I did, you could, because there were some of the talks, they were so nervous, but that's not how I roll. So I roll like I knew every word, and I probably put 80 to 90 hours into it over a 100-day period to get to when you'll watch it and you'll see it.
That's a lot of effort,
Yeah.
but I understand, because it's such a big moment.
Yeah, you don't know where it's going to lead you, and that's up there in the top 5 things I'm most proud of.
Really?
Yeah, and I don't know that I would do it again, but.
You just got back from speaking?
No, I just went to that conference. I spoke. It'll be a year in October that I did it. Yeah.
How was the TED Sports?
It was really cool.
Yeah.
It was neat. They did a really great job of covering like all different kinds of sports. It wasn't just the traditional sports. You know, like Triple H was there from WWE.
Really?
Yeah, Hannah Storm was there. Hope Solo, hockey player or soccer player. You know, there was one of the talks was someone that trains dogs in the sport and agility dog race, you know, the Westminster. Yeah, there was someone there talking about sports in space.
Dang.
Yeah, I'm like, okay. You know, so it was really cool. It was pretty inspirational. Yeah, it was neat.
Wow. Dang, Toni. You're an awesome person.
Thank you.
When I just go back in the thing, when I saw that it popped up, and it was a female, my first thing was like curiosity.
Yeah.
It wasn't like why is she working for a hockey team? It was more of like, oh my God, wow, you don't see that often.
Right.
And just want to understand some of the background and how you make it work. Obviously, our mind fills gaps.
Yeah.
Like little
Yeah.
gaps.
Storytelling. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, maybe her dad was on the team.
Yeah. Maybe her dad owns the team.
owns the
Yeah.
team, but you never know. You kind of just walked right into it.
I did.
And it sounds like it's been great.
It has. Yeah. I mean, it's had its fair share of challenges, but it's nothing that I can't handle. And I believe I was put here for a reason. And, yeah, I'm gonna keep going and keep doing my thing, and most importantly, continuing to lift women up, and men too. Like my podcast is Women in ... But I have men on my podcast too, because the word men is in women. Men came from women, and
Yes,
you know,
true.
and typically men have important women in their lives.
Yeah, and we seek out women.
Yeah.
We do think a lot of things men do are for women.
Yeah.
We want to attract women, all the things.
Yeah.
We really circle around women.
We do. Yeah. So you'll have to come on my podcast.
Yeah, no, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Speaking of women, are you involved in like any women's hockey? Because I'm not sure, do the colleges? Well, I guess Davenport has a women's hockey
Yeah, that
team.
Western doesn't. I am not. I mean, like the PWHL, I have some relationships there.
Oh, I didn't even...
That's Professional Women's Hockey League. Yeah, but those are in bigger cities. But so I have some relationships as that league continues to grow.
Yeah.
But and then we've got KOHA here, which is the Kalamazoo Optimist Hockey Association. I think they're 60 years old now, and they have some youth girls hockey teams, and they'll come out to games and stuff like that. But there's not a lot of that here.
Yeah, which is kind of sad because I feel like girls can
Oh yeah,
they can play hockey too.
absolutely. And we'd like to see the sport grow for women. I think we will. It's just we're seeing some momentum.
Yeah.
But look at how well the WNBA is finally doing, and how long have they been around?
Right.
So it just takes time.
Yeah, it takes
Unfortunately.
time. It may take just like one player because I feel like
Right, like the Caitlin Clark effect of the WNBA. Yeah, if you just get one. So we'll see if we can get lightning in a bottle.
Yeah, because I remember growing up playing hockey, it was like co-ed sport, so it'd be like girls and guys
Yeah.
teams. And please, I was different back then, but every
Yeah.
time you play, you're like, oh, let's get the girl.
Yeah, let's take them out. Yeah.
But then there's always that one girl that you don't want to mess with that chick. She'll
No.
put you in the dirt.
Yeah,
We had
she'll
one of those.
truck you, man. Like,
Yeah. So I would like to see more women in just sports in general. You mentioned that you have partnerships with other teams in the ECHL. Are
Yeah.
there any, obviously no women GMs, but
actually, there is one.
there is.
Yeah, Kristen Ropp of the Cincinnati Cyclones.
Okay.
Yeah. She's actually been a GM longer than me. Now, she's not the governor for her team. She's the alternate governor. But yeah, she's been doing this longer than me. And she was the first person I reached out to.
Wow, I was about to
Yeah.
ask that.
Yeah, she was the first expert I went to say, will you please help me understand this and being a woman in the sport. And she's a proud woman in the sport, but she's not outspoken about being a woman in the sport like I am. So she's like, Toni, I love that you're doing this. I'm cheering you on, but it's not something that she's necessarily
Right.
beating the drum on, where I will relentlessly.
Yeah, which is awesome. Does she
Yeah.
give you like some sort of mentorship or some guidance?
She does at times, like when I had last season, there was some tough, just some fan interaction where I wasn't feeling safe. And because you'd be amazed what, as a female GM, people think that they can just talk to you in a certain way that they wouldn't talk to if you were a man. And so my safety felt compromised. So I called her and said, hey, have you ran into this in season? She's like, oh yeah. And I said, well, how do you guys handle it? And we talked through it. And so I could learn how they handled that in Cincinnati and how we could handle it here.
From a fan?
Oh yeah, there's been some crazy stuff. Yeah, my husband will come to every game. We have extra security usually. Yeah, it's
I wouldn't even think about that.
yeah,
Male
well,
or
because
female, I don't
you're
know.
rational.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
It's pretty sad, but
Yeah,
I'm hoping this hockey season will be better.
Yeah. I don't like to talk about the negative or like the bad stuff about it, but I mean,
It's a reality.
yeah, just to go on. Have you ever some more of those situations where like because you're a woman?
Oh yeah.
been
Oh
treated
yeah.
Differently.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've been called like on board meetings. One of the owners said that I was. What did he say? That I can't remember the word he used, but basically that what I was suggesting was not correct. And I was like, no, it really is. But I was missing common sense or something. I was lacking common sense. And I said, I think the only thing I'm lacking is a penis. And I didn't say that back. I said it in my head because I was going to keep an air of professionalism. But I wrote it on a Post-it note and I kept it in my notebook. You know, there's just times where you know you're treated differently and they're like microaggressions. And but it's been outward too. I mean, I've had to be publicly apologized to in a board meeting for how I've been treated by certain governors.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. And even there's fans where, I mean, they don't apologize, but they, you know, they treat me differently or they call me names or things like that. Yeah.
That's so sad.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, you being a strong person, it's not like you have a great mindset. You don't let it bother you.
I don't. Last season it was tough only because my mom was really ill and she ended up dying in February of Alzheimer's. And so I was in a much different headspace. I mean, I was helping my dad because they live here locally. And so trying to balance all the things I had going on, it was hard. So my mindset, my sensitivities were heightened. It was a hard season.
Yeah.
And when we don't play well, regardless if they choose not to understand my responsibilities at this level versus our head coaches. And so we try to navigate the best we can.
Yeah.
But I mean, I feel a lot better now. So bring it on.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, you don't want to mess with Toni.
Bring it on, y'all. Bring it on.
Yeah. Just some more hockey things I'm just curious about. For the travel, when the players travel, are you involved in that at all?
So my assistant actually books all the travel and does that. And if I sometimes I do travel, but I don't travel with the team.
Gotcha.
I will fly separately. And yes, I will fly separately. I don't go on the bus.
And you have a team bus.
We rent them.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll rent sleeper buses from like Indian Trail, and yeah, 98% of the trips are driven all over, our division in the Midwest. And then if we're playing the Adirondacks this season, so we'll fly out there.
Where are they at?
New York.
New York. Okay. So that's the farthest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's usually one series we'll play out of division each year, and so last year it was in Florida. This year it's in the Adirondacks. Sometimes it's in Utah or Idaho.
Gotcha. Interesting. So I know being a player, some of the best memories were on those buses.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're a little bit younger than maybe some of these guys in their 30s, but it's just so many good memories.
Yeah, they have a lot of good memories. Yeah, they definitely do.
Buses.
Yeah. It's not, it's a little tricky in the winter when you're in them, in the winter time and on the highways and stuff. You gotta, I know they have, those guys have a good time.
I'm sure they do.
Good memories too. Great bonding.
So what's next obviously you guys are moving to the next building.
Couple years, yeah.
Do you see yourself sticking around for another 11 years?
Another 11, no. That would put me, how old would that put me? 58? I doubt it. Not another 11, but definitely for a period of time. At the minimum to get over to the new building and spend a couple seasons there, maximum maybe 55. And then I really want to do some other things. Let my husband do all the working. He's working now, but I'm like, I just would be nice to have one job.
Right.
So yeah, I see another, several years at least, and continuing to reach those goals and get to do things that most GMs don't get to do, like open a new facility.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, at least from the hockey world is kind of small, so I'm sure there's teams around the league that are like looking at you guys moving to another facility, or they're probably like, damn, what is Toni doing over there in Michigan?
Yeah, they do. And I think one of the things I'd love to do eventually is consult and help other teams and travel those teams and help them. I like to do speaking engagements and breakout sessions and training sessions on how to 10X and how to, build a 1-year vision worksheet and bring the whole person to work. And I love to coach employees and help them achieve their goals. So I love to learn. I read my age every year. So I'm 47. I'll read 47 books this year. So yeah, I like to read. And then my staff, I'll have them read books and do trainings on them. And it's a love-hate relationship with the books I bring them.
I bet. But lucky for them, rarely they're in a position where their upper management is wanting them to be better, to uplift. Yeah. Which is very, at least in my experience, is very rare. Yeah. So they're very lucky.
They are. And I tell them that. I'm like, you guys are lucky. You don't know how good you got it.
Really?
No, they're appreciative. We have a lot of fun, but I do stretch them in terms of thinking differently and learning and setting these goals. And they have battle boards and a one-year vision worksheet. And this whole season, I'm like, we're 10Xing. We're moving to a building that's 10X. So we got to show up with the 10X mindset, and we got to do that work now.
Right.
And so that's what we're doing.
Wow. Even, I shouldn't even say this phrase, even at your age,
It's all right.
You're not old, that you continue to learn.
Yeah.
And I feel, at least, I don't think many people do that when they get a little bit older. They kind of just get set in their own ways, or they don't do the research on things, or they increase their knowledge.
Yeah. I think it's really important to continue to level up. And I know when I do that, I show up as just a great well of knowledge for my staff, but also my clients and for me, because I want to be the best version of myself. And if I'm always learning and growing and challenging my beliefs and thoughts, then I'm not going to be bored.
Yeah. 47 books. How many books have you completed so far this year?
Just finished 40.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm going to crush it.
Yeah.
So last year, I think I ended up reading 55. I'll probably be around there this year. It depends. Sometimes I slow down. I'm actually reading a book right now, nonfiction, or no, fiction, Shantaram. But it's about 1,000-page book, and it's like 42 hours on Audible.
Jeez.
So, but I listen at things at 1.7 speed, so that cuts it down to like 26 hours.
Okay. Yeah, I try to do the Audible book. I like to have like a physical book,
Yep.
and then the Audible book.
Same.
And I can just follow along, which is really interesting. I love to learn. Obviously, that's why we're doing this podcast.
Yeah.
Is there a book that has stood out from this year that you read?
From this year, oh yeah. So I've read 10X is Easier Than 2X twice by Ben Hardy and Dan Sullivan. So for entrepreneurs,
Check that one out.
I've read that one twice. I've also read, for those that are looking to change a relationship with substances, Unchain Your Brain by Dr. Daniel Amen is really good. And that's anything you want to unchain your brain from. You know, for me, it was alcohol, but it could be food, it could be gambling, it could be caffeine, it could be porn, shopping, it can be anything. That book is excellent. I've read that book twice too. And I'm trying to think if there's Hidden Potential by Adam Grant was actually really good as well.
Okay.
So, and I just read, I'm interviewing him on my podcast pretty soon, Prison to Purpose Pipeline. Martin Lockett, he spent 17 years in prison on DUI charges for killing 2 individuals. And but his story is super powerful because he really turned it around. His book is phenomenal. I read it in less than a week.
Wow.
Yeah, really good.
That's crazy. It's actually so many things that you talk about that's coincidence. I had a guy on my podcast that does prison ministries.
Yeah.
So he goes to the prisons,
Yep.
and he ministers to them. And unbelievable guy. Well, to do something like that, you have to be a special individual.
Yes, absolutely. Servant heart for sure.
He's been doing it for 10 years. And just to hear some of those stories that he talks about. But everybody has, like, people give up on themselves too easy, or too quick, too early on.
Well, and shame plays a big role in that, right?
Yeah.
And it could be really easy to let, in Martin's case, and I can't wait to interview him, to allow the shame to swallow him for those 2 lives being lost, or he can turn it into a meaningful purpose in life and not allow it to swallow him. And so I can't wait to talk with them. But yeah, shame can really be a detractor for people wanting to get better at whatever it is they struggle with.
Yeah, sure. I want to listen to that podcast too.
Yeah, I interview him in October, so
Awesome.
yeah.
Well, you want to just talk a little bit about your podcast? How did you get started, and why a podcast? You're a GM of a hockey team.
So I was coming off the National Sports Forum. I'm on the steering committee for the Sports Forum, and I hosted the first ever super panel with all women. I moderated that panel, and then I hosted a networking event for women in sports after that, and it was really, like, you could feel the energy in the room. You could feel that the women were hungry for this, and I was home, and I was out on a walk with my dog, and I'm like, how do I keep this momentum going? I want to tell these stories of these women in sports, but then I'm like, what if I broaden it out? Because women, we have a lot of different identities, and and not just women in sports, but women in ...
In anything.
In anything.
Gotcha.
But then I was like, but I want men on there too. And so that's how it was born. I literally walked in the door from walking the dog. I opened up a Google Doc. I typed out the whole concept. I called a producer that I figured would be willing to produce it. And my first episode was out 30 days later. And I've done 125 episodes.
Shit.
I mean, I don't even, I have, yeah, I was doing it once a week. Sometimes I have 3 episodes out a week. I have so much content and I just keep churning it out and I don't have to go looking for guests.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you enjoy it?
I love it. It's not about ROI for me. It wasn't even about my book. It wasn't about like a platform for anything other than telling these stories. It just so happens when I started to write my book and I started to do my conference and all these things, they were like, oh, this is perfect. You have the podcast to do this. Is that why you started? I'm like, no. I started because I wanted to tell these stories, but I love doing this. I love to get to know someone for an hour, 45 minutes, however long I interview them. And because otherwise I wouldn't do it.
Right.
We're too busy.
Exactly.
It is.
Especially there's no ROI.
Yeah.
Like
there's no ROI.
There's no ROI.
Monetarily,
Right.
but relationship-wise now there is. And so that's the first question I ask all my guests. How did we meet? Because that right there will start a story. And I do this much prep work for my podcast. I don't prep. I just have conversations.
Yeah.
I'll read the bio, and from that bio, we have such a rich conversation.
Right.
And I absolutely love it.
Do you ever get nervous going into
No.
any of them? No, obviously not you.
No, especially after you do so many. And I've been public speaking for years. I've had to be on camera for years for this job at podiums, and I used to get nervous for that. The only time I've been nervous twice, TEDx, and then when I moderated that panel, and my husband was just like, he always tells me the same thing, but I just need to hear it from him. He's like, just be Toni. I'm like, okay, just be Toni. So I'm just Toni.
That's 100 episodes of the podcast. Here I am, Toni, episode 20, and you're like, oh, I've been doing these for
a year and a half.
Yeah.
And I've done that many. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. But it's
It
easy.
makes sense though, because as I'm starting, this is a new venture, like trying to get people on the podcast. A lot of them say, "Oh, I don't like to be on camera," or "I don't like to hear myself."
Oh, I hear that. I listen back to every single one of my episodes.
You learn a lot from listening to yourself and watching how. Like even I'm gonna watch it back and be like, "Why am I sitting like this?" That's not like body language. You learn body language and.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm comfortable in it, but there are a lot of people that aren't, and that's okay. They don't have to be on our podcast.
But you've always been this way,
Yeah,
though.
I have.
Yeah, so
I
it
have.
makes it easy.
Yeah. And I want to inspire other people, like anyone could sit here and do what we're doing. We really can. There's nothing, I mean, I hate to say it like this, but we're not special.
We're not.
We're not.
We're not.
We're just willing to talk.
Exactly. And we're willing to put ourselves in these uncomfortable positions
Yeah.
to be here. Even when I was walking in, like walking up to the doors, because again, this is like such a surreal moment. I had some thought of imposter syndrome when I was walking in. I was like, I had my little bag and my little camera. I'm like, what the heck am I doing?
And I'm like, let's go.
I know.
Yeah.
So it's been awesome.
Oh, this has been great. I'm glad. This is fun, like to be able to do this. Like I will always remember doing a podcast interview by the ice, which I've had photo shoots here and other small segments from the news, but never a full podcast. So it'll always be in my memory.
Awesome. And last thing, just to touch on that a little bit, for the media, for the stuff with the hockey team, how does that, like, do you like hire people for headshots or like they come in and do?
Yeah, it's all done internally. So I have a PR director for the K-Wings and he does our broadcasting and PR. So it handles all the press releases, all of that. And then our marketing team handles our headshots, and we have a professional photographer come in and do the player headshots. We have a creative producer who does all the video and editing and all of that. So everything, we have that talent all in-house.
Is it streamed, the game streamed on?
It is. Flow Sports TV is where the hockey games are streamed. And then we're switching, we haven't announced this yet, but season ticket holders will soon find out that we're not going to be on the radio anymore. We're going to go to app and stream our games through that. But we're figuring out which one right now.
It's probably smart because radio's like slowly going out the window.
Yeah, they'll tell you it's not, but
yeah,
it
just
is.
like TV kind of.
Yeah.
Sorry, I know you're probably busy, you have so many things. What is the hardest thing about your job?
The hardest part,
I guess-
I think the public facing part sometimes.
Okay.
you know, like people thinking they know you or understand like why you make certain decisions, but they don't really know me that well,
Right.
you know. So I think that part gets kind of old.
What about as far as like hockey operations?
I think the hardest part of that is just the constant movement of players. I mean, and that's just the nature of this level, but they're constantly moving up and down, and you get attached to one maybe, and then they leave, and for good reason, but there's constant movement, and it's hard to keep up with. So that part's hard.
I wonder if for the players, because if you're constantly moving, I've traded to a few different teams. You get to one team, and in your head's like, all right, I'm only going to be here for a few months. So you really don't.
I have a lot of empathy for that. I mean, they're constantly moving and going and doing, and that's hard.
Yeah.
And at this level, you're not getting rich, okay? So in front office or players, I mean, we have salary caps and stuff. So it's a passion. You have to really love it to play at this level and fight hard to get to the next.
Yeah.
So I would say that's the hardest part on the hockey ops side.
Makes sense. And the salary cap, do you have any say in that? Or?
I do, because we work with the CBA, with the PHPA, which is the players union, and so the governors all have a role in that piece.
Yeah.
So, but on the day-to-day with the player, Joel handles that.
Gotcha. Do you find that part interesting to you, or do you like?
Not really.
Like,
Nope.
more like the community, like
Yeah.
what can the team
Yeah.
and the rink do
Yeah.
for like the community is what the vibe that I'm getting off.
100%. You read me right. Yeah.
No, dude. That's awesome. Where can we find your podcast?
So I'm on all platforms.
Okay.
Anywhere. Women is on all the platforms. My website is toniwill.com.
Okay.
So my TEDx is there. Everything I've talked about today is there. And then, my conference called Empower Her will be here in Kalamazoo, Michigan, March 6th and 7th. Fingers crossed, that's when my book, Not the Norm, will come out and launch on March 6th. So,
Why do you say fingers crossed?
well, I'm at the manuscript is almost done, and then we submit that to the publisher. So once it's in the publisher's hands, then it's all printing and all this, and all that stuff. So I'm hoping in 5.5 months we can have it ready to go.
You went to a publisher. That's huge.
Yeah, they have 3 different ways you can publish books now. So you can do self-publish, or you can get an agent, but or you can do a hybrid. So you can, and the hybrid is, they help you, it's a publisher, but you still own your book. You're not selling the rights to your book away, but they will also market it. So the money you would spend to market it anyways, if you self-publish, this is in my opinion, through my research, the best way to go.
So are you doing an audiobook version too?
Yeah, I'd like to. Yeah, I mean, I don't mind listening to my own voice. So
you're gonna
yeah,
read it too?
I would read it too.
Okay.
Yeah. I just read the book cover to cover yesterday, the final draft. So
Happy with it?
thrilled. Yeah, I'm really proud of it. So I'm excited to see.
That's a huge accomplishment that you've written a book.
Yeah, I'm really proud of it. It's imposter syndrome for sure.
Yeah, no, not at all. Because my wife will vouch for this. I told her all the time, one day I'm gonna write a book. One day.
Oh, it's hard. But I'm so glad I did it, and I put some really personal stuff in there. I mean, really personal stuff. I won't spill the beans because now people have to buy it. But I mean, I might have some street cred. I might have been in the clink. You never know. Okay, you never know.
You have to read the book and find out.
You'll have to find out.
We'll bring Toni on for episode.
Yeah, when the book comes out, I'll come out. I'll come back on. Yeah.
To see how everything are.
Yeah.
Maybe if you're even in the new building, we can recircle back.
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to. And by then, you'll be at like 400 episodes.
Fingers crossed.
You will be. I have no doubt. This is great.
Yeah. Well, I won't take too much of your time. I can literally just sit here. I always tell the guests this all the time. Like, I feel bad taking because the imposter syndrome coming back again. It's like, I know you have all these things, and you're sitting here talking with me.
No, it's been a pleasure. I'm so glad, and that you came to me. It was really cool.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Of course, anytime.
Well, thank you guys for watching. Go follow Toni. Check out all the amazing things, the book, the podcast. Come to a hockey game if you're in Kalamazoo. And just stay tuned.
Yeah, we'd love to see you there.
And seriously, thank you guys so much for the love and the support of not only just the podcast, but my creative career, is if you want to call it that. I appreciate you guys for watching. I hear all the time people are, where's the podcast? Where's the YouTubes? And just know I do appreciate it, and it means a lot. So thank you guys all for watching my videos, and we'll see you in the next episode.